Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Maury and I have another DIY craft for you all that I haven't done in quite some time. But if you're wondering what is in my hand, it is actually my own stress ball. Not my own original, but because I found this idea off of Pinterest, and I'm sure you all have encountered a stress ball or at least have heard of one. If you haven't, this is what it really is, or essentially is. And I'm going to teach you all how to make one today because I'm sure that some of us may be feeling stressed out and overwhelmed and anxious or nervous, or a lot of different emotions because of the shelter in place, and we're really anxious to go back to program. But since we can't right now, I thought that it would be a great activity to create our own stress ball to help us through this time. And before we get into the making of the stress ball, I wanted to briefly speak with you all about stress because stress is such an important topic that we should be talking about. And I'm sure that we learned that throughout program. However, with stress levels being potentially so high during this time, it's an important conversation to have. So for those of you who don't know what stress is, it's your body's response to any changes that requires an adjustment or any type of response. So it's either your body goes into flight or fight. So you're either going to run away or face your stress head on or face the problem head on. And this can be because of physical environment, your mental environment, your emotional environment, or any of your responses, or any of those three. So stress is important. And knowing how to reduce your stress in certain situations can be very beneficial to you. So with anxiety and stress and nervousness and overwhelm, having a stress tool such as a stress ball can be very beneficial to you, because the sensation of squeezing a stress ball can actually help. I like to think of it as transferring your energy, or your overwhelmedness or your nervousness into the stress ball, because for that split second you're not thinking essentially about your stressful environment, you're thinking about the pressure of your hand squeezing on the ball, right? And that's what a stress ball is for. It's such a useful tool to give you a split second to calm down, right? Because when you are stressed, your cortisol levels are increasing, which increases your blood pressure, and we don't want that. So I'm going to teach you all how to make the stress ball, and hopefully that you find the materials at home, or you find different ways that you can create your own type of stress-free tool, to help you deal with everything that you are going through or not going through. And it doesn't always have to be about stress. You just might need a tool or something to fidget with, and this is perfect for that. So we're gonna get ahead and get started on this video. I hope you enjoy it, and let me know if you have any questions. Let's talk materials. So for your DIY stress ball, you're gonna of course need some balloons, a marker, baking soda. Flour is preferred because it does make the balloon, like the inside, a little bit more soft and squishy, but I apparently ran out of flour, so we're gonna be using baking soda. Then you're going to either need magazines or newspapers because we're going to be making a funnel with this, and then a measuring cup. So let's open up our balloon. I had mine pre-opened. You can cut it as well, but I'm going to take out the yellow balloon because that's the color I want to use, and go ahead and put the rest of my balloon on the side. And before you begin, you want to stretch out the neck of your balloon here, just because in some Pinterest that's what they tell us to do. So we're going to just stretch it out a little bit, as well as the opening here. Okay, but be careful not to rip it, because of course we don't want to rip our stress ball. Okay, and so once you're done with this, we're going to just throw it to the side there. Grab your magazine and or your newspaper. I already had a piece ripped out, but you can use any piece from magazine or a newspaper. And you can already see I had pre-folded this so that you can already see it. But basically what you want to do is essentially fold it into a triangle shape here. This is just to help guide us, but it won't do too much. So you're gonna fold it, and then what you're going to do is bring the left side or one side of your paper overlapping the other, like that. So when you look inside, there's a little hole, right? And that's where we're gonna put our baking soda in so that it can fall into the opening of our balloon. So because we want this a little bit smaller, we don't want it too flimsy, we're gonna want to bring one side in closer. And be careful when you are doing this, because you don't want the paper or like magazine or newspaper to be folded too much, because what happens is then you can't find the opening, and that happened to me in the beginning. So yeah, so you can see here there's a little bit of a hole, and to measure it to make sure it fits, you can just go ahead and put it into the balloon and make sure that fits. Okay, and if you can kind of see through here, there's a you can see it a little bit, but there's a yellow kind of undertone right here, and that's the balloon, so you know that it fits good. If you want this to be a little bit more sturdier, then I would recommend using tape. So I have tape here. I didn't mention it in the supplies because sometimes, you know, not everybody has tape, which is fine, but I found some. So I'm gonna rip a few pieces. Okay, put that to the side, and then I'm gonna redo my little funnel. Okay, making sure the opening is good. And then I'm just gonna very nicely, or not nice, so nice, tape that part of my funnel. You can still see it. This just helps a little bit with the stability, because newspaper and any type of paper is pretty flimsy. So that's our opening, and from this side you can see, and then you can measure it again, and you know that it's gonna fit perfectly. Okay, so now that you have that completed, we don't need this anymore. Now comes the baking soda portion. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this to the side here, grab my measuring cup. And you're thinking, why would I use a measuring cup if I already made a funnel? It's if you put it into the outer of the balloon, all of that baking soda and flour is just going to fall through, and only a little bit is going to get in. And you would have to put newspaper down so that you would avoid a mess, right? We want to try to be as mess-free as possible. So that's why we made the little funnel. If you have a funnel at home, by all means, please use that. But this is for people who don't have funnels at home. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my baking soda, or open it. Okay. Oh, it's gonna get a little messy down here, and that's why I recommend you all putting newspaper. Actually, I'll go ahead and put some. I should lead by example, right? So I'm just gonna rip a random page here. Okay. It already spills a little bit, but that's okay. So we're gonna do the rest on our paper here. So I'm gonna pour, maybe, let's see. You can eye it, but this is what? Almost 1/4. We can go up to about 1/3. 1/3 of a cup of baking soda or flour. Oh, that's a little bit too much. And it's okay, because we're not gonna be using the whole thing, but if you have baking soda and you can kind of feel the texture, this is what it feels like. That's kind of cool. Well, not that's what kind of feel like, unless you have baking soda, then you know what it feels like. But it's very soft, right? And so you're gonna just eye how much baking soda that you can put in. I have about 1/3 of a cup, I believe, 2/3 of a cup for what my measurements is saying here. So now here comes the fun part. You are gonna open that balloon, the opening of the balloon, put your makeshift funnel in there. Okay, this is the fun part for me. And you're going to pour your baking soda into your balloon, as much as will fit. And you want to do this little by little, because it gives it, you need time for your baking soda to go in to the balloon, and you want to hold the opening up, okay? Just because you don't want to spill. I don't know if you can see now, but you can kind of see the baking soda slowly going into the balloon, and that's what we want, okay? This is why it's very, very important for you to use newspaper at the bottom, because this could end up being a really big mess. Oh, see, an overflow. If you do get overflown, go ahead and just put the rest back. Put it into your measuring cup. So this filled up a pretty good amount of the balloon. As you can see, it's not as squishy as flour would be, but it's okay. It'll make do. So for this part, you can either use a rubber band, or if you want to tie it, you can. I'm going to go ahead and just tie our neck of the balloon. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around, and then just go ahead and bring that in and just tie that. Okay? You want to do this so it secures the baking soda inside the balloon. Okay, it's not as squishy like I've mentioned, but it helps. Okay, now, so we're going to go ahead and remove that. And here's the second fun part, is that you can decorate your balloon however you like. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 circles. This might look funny, but maybe a little nose and a smiley face. Okay, maybe this is how I'm feeling right now. This is a very, maybe I'm coloring. Let's color it in and see what that does. Make it look a little spooky. Yeah. So now it's just a big lump of balloon. So this is a really easy and great stress tool to use, because when you squeeze the balloon, you can feel the texture almost of the baking soda inside. And if you're feeling upset, or if you're feeling angry or sad, the squishing of the balloon can actually be very therapeutic, because it provides kind of a sensation in your body. At least for me, it does. It's very calming. You know, if you've ever held a stress ball or used a stress ball, this is the same thing. It's just different material. So it's a lot of fun to just squish around. You can always have it next to you. When you feel that you are feeling stressed, whether that's feeling of anxiety, nervousness, or anything, you just go ahead and give your friend a little squeeze. Your little friend, aka the balloon, Mr. Balloon or Mrs. Balloon, give them a little squeeze, and hopefully this will make you feel better. And this, I like to squeeze a balloon too, because it can also help strengthen the muscles in your hand or fingers. Not too much, but it's a little fun, right? I think this is fun. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, this really quick DIY stress ball. And if you do create this, please let me know. If I see you in classes, or if I see you when we get back to program, please let me know, because I would love to hear if you all did this. So again, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Say bye.